This one's called Soft Spot. When you're no longer a baby, after you start wearing grown-up clothes and big person shoes, after you outgrow the safety seat and you start driving your mom around instead, you ask, why can't I be a baby? I'd be a very good baby. This time, I'd get it right, being a baby. You drive past the Toys R Us, you drive past the great fountain of money, and you drive around the mortuary. No matter how good you've been, you're not getting anything your mom tells you from the back seat, because you're a grown-up now. Grown-ups never get anything just because they've been good. Beg all you want, she says. I'm never giving you your soft spot back. 3 teenage poems. 1. When I was a teenager, my hair was a forest. I stretched for miles, and I could hardly go anywhere because someone was always tugging or tying me up around trees or family or telephone poles. I tore so much of it out, thinking if it was so endless, I could get away with wasting it. If I had lovers, I'd let them braid me, but I didn't, so I stayed wild and wore it loose with my bangs that hid me about as well as I could hide my feelings. When I was a teenager, everyone wore their hair like that. No one was going anywhere, and if they had lovers, they treated them awkwardly. I wasn't good at getting out of my body, even when I shaved all of it off. 2. My counselor refused to let me drop biology class, no matter how often I told her I hated it. You need to get used to bodies, she said. I know you don't want to, but you do. So I signed up for theater classes. What I loved best about them was the warm-up exercises. I loved tensing and relaxing the different parts of me, rolling my shoulders, becoming rubbery. We'd sit in the darkened auditorium while the teacher taught us how to cry. We sat there with our eyes closed, thinking our saddest thoughts. But I just couldn't. All I felt was my shoulders cramping, as if I'd been carrying something so heavy I'd never be allowed to know what it was. 3. When I turned into a teenager, one of the things I grew to hate were chin-ups. To hang off a bar and yank my body up over and over, only to fall back down again mindlessly. There were just so many better things I could do with my wrists. The gym coach would lash at me and my laziness. What if, he said, there was a terrible accident and you were dangling from a cliff, and the only thing saving you from certain death was the strength of your wrists? Would you not, at that moment, regret blowing off all those chin-ups in gym class? Fuck no, I said. I have a backup plan. Why do you think I've been masturbating so furiously all these years? Two poems on kissing. 1. This is for my wife, Mary. 1. My kisses are so sweet, you have to bolus for me, every time. And I'm such a sloppy kisser, my beard tickles your face. So I'm such a delicate kisser, you say, come on, baby, don't hold back. I'm such a serious kisser, my kisses solve all sorts of problems, but I'm such a playful kisser, I get in trouble too. I'm such a natural kisser, you'd never know I spent 30 years in graduate school. I'm such a great kisser, all those academic kissers should just go back to using their mouths for dissertations. I'm such a sly kisser, we've been lovers for decades, and your mother thinks we're just friends. 2. There are 2 kinds of kissers. There's the polite little peckers, the kind of people who only open their mouths to eat and talk and yawn, otherwise they're more concerned with gesture, the symbol instead of the thing itself. They struggle with their kisses and they always win. Weak huggers, you have to do all the work, and they come to resent it when you do. They kiss like they're doing you a favor. They kiss like they care more about preventing the passage of germs. They kiss like they're gargling something more important than you. I'm not one of those. Hugh Behm-Steinberg is a tongue man. And this poem takes place here. This is one of my bird poems. It's called Longbilled Curlews. The literature of sleep splits between those who say it's about escape. You fall asleep, and in your dreams you hang out with curlews on Candlestick Point before the stadium was built, before the last flocks were shot down by hunters. You dream you're wading through abundance, and it worries you, because in your dreams, wealth is only there to be lost, wrecked, or stolen. You think the birds are oblivious. You keep trying to save them. One school says, of course, this keeps happening. You are asleep, so this is about death. It sucks. What sport is there to shooting long-billed curlews that hunters would climb into your dreams to wipe out even the imaginary ones? The breakdown is unpredictable, so it's hard to be trusting. Your habits are indefinite, one curlew says, so it's hard to maintain control. You're asleep and erotic as you're embodied. One school says we fall asleep to practice surrender, but I'm more hopeful than that. My friend Barnaby claims the group he saw seemed preoccupied with stalking clumsily through the muck after small fish or grubs. But I think there's nothing that's clumsy. It's an observational problem. You are not a curlew. You cannot tell if they're being clumsy or careful. But Barnaby, I'm asleep right now. We're writing this poem, which is the same thing, which means I know. And now you know I know. You already knew. Like the long-billed curlew, telling my wife when we sleep, we're writing creation's book. And in it, we're okay. We're going to be okay. Thank you.